Hey y'all, I'm Drake and this is Drake Makes Movies. So, I'm gonna level with you. I really struggled with this video because there is so much great information out there about character design, how to do it right, how to use your characters to tell the story in the way they're dressed, in the way they look, how their silhouettes work. And unfortunately, this short doesn't need any of that. Fitting in is a story about like a baby's peg sorting toy. Like there are square pegs and there are round pegs and the pegs go in their holes. It's that simple, and there's not really an entry point for me to talk about, the finer points of silhouette design and color palettes and, exaggeration and how you can use exaggeration in animation to convey emotions, because they're simple shapes. They're cylinders and rectangular prisms. And I did that on purpose. As I've said before on this channel, this is my first short. I'm doing everything from, script, which is something I have done before, to 3D modeling, which is something I've never done before. I'm learning all of that as I go. Digital lighting, how to do that in a 3D space. I've done lighting design before, but never inside a computer. I'm going to be doing Foley, I'm going to be doing camera work, again, something I've done before, but never inside a computer. So there's a lot to do, and I'm on a time crunch. I have about 7 months to learn and do all of this, and so I decided to do a relatively simple story because I have a lot to do and not a whole lot of time to do it. The second reason I wanted to do this, even though I just said it's all going to be very challenging, was because I wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge. Using such simple shapes will require me to really test myself as an animator. I'll really be pushed to convey the emotions of the story without a whole lot to work with. And I think that'll be a really cool challenge. But why don't you just see for yourself? So I promised you character designs, that you'd get to see what Ricky Rectangle looked like this week, and so here are the character designs. What you're looking at here is a set of diagrams that I will eventually use for 3D modeling on these characters. Having these three views, the front, the side, and the top view, that essentially give me a diagram for each of the 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z, which I'll need when I get ready to model these characters. So in designing these characters, I was really inspired by the original 90s version of VeggieTales, because I feel like that show is kind of capturing what I'm going for here, in the sense that the shapes were very simple, they were all veggies, they were all, cucumber, like a cucumber and a tomato, or just a sphere and a modified cylinder. But they're very dynamic shapes and they express emotion, they're very expressive. And that's really what I'm trying to capture with this. I also wanted to show you this. So what you're looking at here is a very simple diagram of the living room the short is going to take place in. And I know it doesn't look like much, but there's actually a lot of useful information contained in this drawing. For one thing, I now have a list of assets I know I will need to model before I can start production. If it's in this diagram, I need to have a 3D model of it. Secondly, I can use this diagram to start planning my camera shots. I can decide where I want my characters to be, how I want them to be framed, where I need to put the camera in order to frame them that way. And this is important because the next major stage of this filmmaking process is going to be storyboarding. But you'll have to come back next week to find out more about that. Thank you so much for watching. As short as this video has been, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you next week. Bye.